Chapter 0.00011 Clues in the Noesis. This is Ben, still writing in black ink. I felt nervous to be put in charge of a run into the Noesis, but somehow I knew it was meant to be. Confidence started to flood my body and my mind. I don't think I've ever felt so sure about anything. Jack said we should leave directly from the platform outside the observatory. Each of us dreamed up our boards before we sped out into the morning air. Once we reached some mountainous clouds of Noesis, I remembered that Blizzard was a great fan of the Mountains of Hope. Because I was in the lead, I decided to think about the Mountains of Hope and not to focus on Blizzard being missing. As we surfed up and down the clouds of Noesis, I began to sense so much hope, and then a huge wave of doom engulfed me. It's a lie. The wave of doom is a lie, I heard Blizzard's voice say. I looked around expecting to see Blizzard, but when he wasn't there, I realised that the Noesis was just letting me hear his voice. It added, "Listen with your heart, don't listen with your mind." I closed my eyes and listened as hard as I could, using my heart instead of my brain. All I could hear was a bird singing, a tiny bird singing with all its might. I had no idea what it meant. The bird in my imagination was so small, but so triumphant. All of a sudden I was reminded of an old poem, one Athena used to repeat to me when I was about 5 or 6. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. I felt as if Blizzard wanted us all to hope. It reminded me of the part in Peter Pan where everyone has to say, "I do believe in fairies. I do. I do." Frank and I had watched Peter Pan before we were invited to Mareskimar, so it was really clear in my mind. "Hey," I called, "I think we all have to feel hope for Blizzard. I feel as if he's asking us himself, or maybe the Noesis is asking us to do it. So can we all say, 'Hope is alive for Blizzard'?" We all stood on our boards, feeling bold and wild. "Put your arms up," I said, in a sign of victory. "Why should we?" asked Invictus. "Do it!" roared Miguel. With our arms high above our heads and with the loudest of voices, we all shouted, "Hope is alive for Blizzard!" To our astonishment, loud trumpets sounded all around us, and we were suddenly surrounded by dragons. At first I was terrified, but Sky soon recognised Puff and his mother, the Red Queen, along with her army of black dragons. "Troops," she called. "Again!" There was another call of 1,000 trumpets, and then with the host of dragons to back us up, we all shouted as loudly as we could, "Hope is alive for Blizzard!" After that, all the dragons held up their heads and breathed fire from their mouths high into the sky. A massive circle of flames and smoke wound their way up into the air, higher and higher. As the flames met great mountains of Noesis, a huge downpour fell upon us. It filled us with excitement. "Right!" shouted the Queen. "This sort of rain brings with it many surprises. Open up your minds and ask for news of Blizzard." As we floated in the downpour, I closed my eyes and saw a little boy. He was being teased about the colour of his skin. The boy cowered as the teasing turned to violence. I opened my eyes wide because I didn't want to see the violence. I didn't recognise the boy, but somehow my heart told me that it was Blizzard. Chapter 0.0011. More clues. This is Ben, still writing in black ink. "What did you see?" asked the Red Queen, hovering alongside my board. "A boy," I said. "He was being bullied. Actually, he was being beaten, and it was all because of the colour of his skin." "Blizzard?" asked the Queen. "I'm not sure, but I think so." "Close your eyes again," said the Queen. "Find out more." I did as I was told and saw the boy fall to the ground. He was in an old-fashioned school. The grounds were muddy and dank. There was fog everywhere, and it looked like a very cold place. Everyone wore coats and long trousers, except the boy being bullied. He was in shorts and a singlet. He was shivering. I opened my eyes again, feeling terrible to see what I was seeing. I told the Red Queen. "Shut your eyes again," she said. I was reluctant to see any more, but I did as I was asked. This time I saw a huge fence all around the front of the school and a horrible gate made from wrought iron with spikes on it. The fence had spikes too. Written into the gate in wrought iron were the words, "Mudfog, School for Orphaned Boys." I blinked my eyes open. "Mudfog," I said. "It's called Mudfog, School for Boys, for Orphaned Boys." Jax surfed over to me. "I know that place," she said. "My father went there as a boy, even though he wasn't an orphan. He says it was so cruel that he dreamed about shutting it down when he grew up." I shook my head, staring at Jax. "Somehow I know. Somehow. He's there. Blizzard's there." Jax bit her lower lip. "Okay," she said with a sigh. "Okay, I've got to talk to my father." "Definitely," I said. And then turning back to the Red Queen, I said, "Thank you. If you hadn't told me to, I wouldn't have kept my eyes closed, and I might not have seen." The Red Queen smiled. "Well done," she said. "You'll find Blizzard. I know you will."